So I will teach you the practice by practicing it together, by giving instructions as we go along. So first, mending the broken human, supported by Bodhicitta. Take a moment to set your body in comfortable upright sitting posture. And sit as long as it takes for your breath to calm down. So at least a couple of minutes. If you feel like taking deeper breaths spontaneously, please do. Our pure and perfect basic nature is always present, always sober, sane, and clear. But what is not in alignment with this pure basic nature of ours, let those energies relax. Like if there is holding, grasping to energies, let them flow freely instead of them remaining arrested. So mending practice supported by Bodhicitta. So first step is to generate Bodhicitta, which is something that is done in Amrita Mandala practice, in Mahayana Buddhism, Vajrayana Buddhism, in Tantric traditions. It's a stable practice. But it needs to be done not just 2 minutes, like touching it briefly, touching it little with your fingertips, but it needs to be like a bodily, very visceral experience. Very visceral, to bone and marrow. How do you generate bodhicitta? Can be a prayer, can be chanting bodhicitta prayers that we have, relative bodhicitta, absolute bodhicitta. You could also do it through Amrita Avalokiteshvara, a deity practice. But let's use a prayer. a simple prayer that expresses our motivation and expresses compassion. So, together, as a group, and each one of us individually, we aim and we are set to realize our pure and perfect nature and establish it in full in our body and mind, in our physical body and subtle bodies. So our firm aim is to attain pure and complete, perfect and complete enlightenment for the sake of all sentient beings, for the sake of all beings who suffer due to their self-delusion and due to their traumatic pain. It is both for our own sake, but also for the sake of all sentient beings. All life, really, all forms of life that we practice and are determined to finish our practice. For the sake of all sentient beings. For the sake of all sentient beings. For the sake of all sentient beings. A genuine, heartfelt, whole body compassion. With genuine love towards life itself, our own life and all life around us. For the sake of all sentient beings. What happens when you generate Bodhicitta is that it opens your subtle body, has an effect on the physical body also. You might notice that your heart rate goes down, breathing gets deeper instead of remaining shallow, shoulders relax, and so on, tissues relax. And at the same time, there is clarifying of mind, softening of energy, opening of the subtle body. You might feel that the inner space kind of opens up instead of remains arrested and closed, shut. So these are signs that you have generated bodhicitta. always when we generate bodhicitta, there needs to be a shift in our energy and in our whole being. So mending practice supported by bodhicitta. So the basic view is that there are broken, scattered, fragmented bits and pieces because of shocking, traumatic events in our subtle body. There are places in the meridian system where the meridian channels are broken, fragmented, in pieces. Let's say a prayer. For the sake of liberation of all beings, may the broken pieces of my meridians return to their right places. For the sake of healing of all beings, ourselves included, and for the sake of liberation of all beings, ourselves included, may the broken, fragmented, scattered bits and pieces of our meridian body, subtle body, be returned to their right places. May our subtle body be mended, put back together. When properly prepared and coming from a place of sincerity in us, from our hearts, there are again shifts. Mending starts happening. And you can feel it right away. So you can make the prayer, the request, once, twice, 3 times, as many times as you feel like doing in one session. It's a simple prayer, simple request, And you can use your own words to formulate it. Always, when making requests or saying prayers or when saying mantras, doing whatever practices, always leave space. Leave space, sit in the experience, feel, observe, be aware of what happens. This is very important. Follow what happens in your body and mind. I'll say the prayer for third time, for the sake of all beings, for our healing, healing of all beings, and for our liberation, liberation of all beings. May the parts, bits and pieces that were broken through shocking events during our lives be returned to their right places and be mended perfectly back together, returned perfectly back together into our bodies. Seamlessly returned. It depends of our stage in practice. How many times we need to do this, how many pieces and fragments, how quickly they can be reincorporated, returned back into our bodies. But you just have to see how many times you need to do it. Perhaps once a week, twice a week, for some time, until you feel that all of the fragments have been mended. But this is how mending practice supported by Bodhicitta is practiced. Doing the prayer once, twice, three times or more, however long session you're doing, and then sitting with it, observing what happens in the subtle body, in the bodies, body and mind, physical and non-physical, at least long enough so that significant sensations, you've been aware of those significant shifts. And then the way how you can end your session is chanting Bodhisattva vows, basic prayers, long or short version. Ending practice session like we always do.